Hi there, Tease Talkers. Karen Brooks has been a friend of mine for over 40 years. Karen was surprised to have found a purpose and passion later in her working life as a financial advisor. Bespoke Financial has given her not only a career but also a community. Whilst raising a family, the added responsibilities of being a medical mum meant that a 9 to 5 wasn't going to be on the cards for Karen. She shares with us what has brought her to this point in life and what her hopes are for the future. Karen is actively recruiting for her team. All of the details will be in the link to this episode. Enjoy. Good morning, Karen Brooks. Welcome to Tease Talks.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's
Good,
nice
good.
to see you today.
And you?
What have you been up to this morning?
Working. Team meetings this morning. So yeah, straight out of training and then pop straight over to you.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm.
And so there will be in the trail information about where you work and everything, but if you could tell us where you work and then also what that actually entails, what your job entails, because that's interesting to people who are listening.
Yeah, no problem. So I work for Bespoke Financial Group, which is a family-run business based in Middlesbrough. Although it's not just Middlesbrough anymore, we're going countrywide. That's where we're heading. So we deal with life insurance, critical illness cover, income protection, home insurance. Yeah. Covering all those needs for our lovely families.
I think a lot of people get very confused about what's the right thing to do with insurance, aren't they? And, you know, sometimes when there's lots of paperwork or they've never had experience of it before, they start to get very confused about who to go to. And, you know, you're a financial advisor and you've been doing this for quite a while now, haven't you?
4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, got into the business in the July, like 4 years ago, but actually didn't qualify till the following sort of like May time, down to COVID and things. Everybody delayed
You were
everything.
doing other things in the business as well, weren't you?
Yeah, so I worked in admin as well, and I've just come out of an admin role, well, sort of still doing a little bit of it, but back mainly to sales and potentially team leader as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So yeah, bit of a difference.
That's really good. And I hear you've got some live opportunities for recruitment at the moment, and that's one of the big reasons. I mean, it's great to have you on and catch up with you because if you don't know, Karen's one of my oldest friends, which is lovely that I'm able to have you here and talk about what's going on with your role. But you've got some jobs going in your team. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so basically we as a company, we're massively recruiting at the moment. And it's basically we want to give people the opportunity that we were given, because it's not always about, you know, a full-time job and things like that. It's, you know, we're kind of looking for people who might want to just do it part-time and earn a little bit of extra money, because let's face it, the bills and things at the moment are mega high.
Cost of living's crazy.
Absolutely. So if we can help in any small way for somebody to come on and just do a couple of extra hours a week and earn a really good income from it. You know.
If somebody's already got a part-time job somewhere else, or they're doing some sort of work, or they're self-employed, they'd still be able to come and work for you guys.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not a 9 till 5. That right?
100%. And to be honest, it's probably the best way to come into the business.
Right.
It's just what I did. I was part-time when I very first started. Very quickly realised I needed to change things and become full-time doing it, because it's just flexible. It works round if you've got young children and you want to be able to drop them off every morning, you can.
Yeah.
You don't have to start work till 10 o'clock if you don't want to. You finish at school pick-up time, you pick it back up again after tea if you want, and if you don't, that's fine, you carry on the next day. But a couple of hours a day, you know, can make all the difference to a monthly wage for you.
So even if somebody's working in your team, they're not necessarily you know, working for you on your fixed schedule.
No.
They're working their own schedule.
On schedule, yeah. Absolutely.
Because that's really important to people, isn't it?
It is at the minute. I think you know, it's not just down to the money, isn't it? I think it's the flexibility of family life as well now.
Yeah.
Is that many people do have to work full time to get a really decent wage at the end of the month.
Yeah.
To allow them to do nice things with the family, but then that compromises the time they get to spend with the family.
I've found that a lot because I've done temp work in recent years, which has been perfect for my family needs. But when I've gone for part-time jobs in places, they've said, and I've said, oh, why is this role available? And they've said, oh, well, somebody's had to move out of this role to take on a full-time job because they need it for income. So there has been like a shift in trend because of what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
So that's good to know that, you know, you can work as little or as much as you want with Bespoke. And what sort of person would you be looking for within your team?
Oh, somebody like me, I guess. Really, it just
there's not two of you, Karen.
There's definitely
there can't ever be two of you.
I don't know. I guess somebody who is. They don't even have to be confident enough just to chat to people. That's all it is. But we train everybody anyway, so there's no need for coming from a sales background. I mean, I wasn't. I was a nail technician and a photographer.
I was going to ask you about that, actually.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how you got to this position.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's obviously, you know, the history with Harry. So for anybody listening, I've got a son who's got a life-threatening, lifelong condition. So when I was at work, I was working full-time, fell pregnant, couldn't go back to work. That was it. Our lives completely changed. And I started my own nail business, and I then started photography, but that was due to a love of photography, not because I wanted a job. It turned into a job. Yeah. Just by people recommending me, and can you do this, can you do that, and the next thing it blew up.
Well, you have always taken a lot of photos, haven't you, which is
always. Great. Yeah. Probably some we shouldn't be sharing, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but it all got a little bit too much because I was spinning far too many plates trying to do different jobs, and then obviously COVID hit massively, didn't it? Yeah. And it affected, you know, businesses across the country massively. But what it did do for me was kind of give me that kick that I needed to go, you know, enough's enough now. I'm going to stop doing the nails, stop the photography, and concentrate on I think what I'm meant to do. Yeah. I don't think I know it's what I'm meant to do.
Yeah. You're the most happy I've ever seen you. I know you were happy in the jobs you had before because you did love what you were doing. Yeah. And I've seen, like, throughout everything you've done, you're working with people face to face, and you know, when you're talking about the skills that someone would need to work at Bespoke, I think you've got to be a good listener, don't you? Yeah. I mean, from everything that I'm saying within this chat with you is basically just from an outsider's point of view, because I don't know. But what I see is that I guess you need to be a good listener and empathetic of somebody else's situation. And it sounds like you've got to maybe have those skills inherently in you, and other things can be taught. So did you say there's training?
Yeah, so when I first started, we didn't have like a training academy. We kind of trained on the job, if you like. Right. So I did my training with the lady that brought me into the business, and you know, just sort of got on with it, and off I went, and it was absolutely fine. But now we've got this amazing training academy, so it's great because when people look at the business, and my initial reaction, I can't do that, I've never sold anything before, and I haven't, you know.
Sales can be scary if you're not a natural salesperson.
But I think that the job that we're in, it's not a hard push sell, because once people know the importance of why you need life insurance, why you need critical illness, and most people, let's face it, have got a real life story of why you should have that cover in place, and why people haven't had cover in place, and it's massively affected them financially, you know, and I think that's the important thing. It's making sure that it's educating people, and that's what the training course gives everybody. But it's brilliant, it's absolutely outstanding, and it's once a week, 6:30 once a week.
All right, so
it fits round everybody's work.
Okay, so the training's continuous, which is good, because everything's changing all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's the academy training for any new starters, which is literally unreal, and by the end of that you will be a fully qualified protection advisor, good to go. And it's brilliant. But we are constantly training, on the job training constantly, because things change, much like your mobile phone. Every 2 minutes they're changing something for the better, and you know, so we're constantly training with the providers,
making sure you're giving your customers that, everybody's getting,
and that we learn what they're offering. That's absolutely.
Good. And if anybody did want to move forward, because it sounds like you said, anyone could do it. So for anybody that is listening and thinks, well, I don't know anything about finance, or maths isn't my strong suit, or something like that. You've said there's training. just what would be the next step for them? You know, how would you
take the plunge? Do it. Stop thinking about it. Stop wondering if you can. Do the like. I think I've said this to you before when I very first was starting the job and things. I was like, can I, can't I? And my 15-year-old at the time said to me, what have you got to lose? And when I sat and thought about it, what did I have to lose apart from a few hours training? And if I didn't like it at the end of it, I walked away.
Give it a go.
What's the harm?
Yeah.
So when people are, you know, I know, like obviously you know, I put stuff on Facebook, I'm posting constantly, and I know people are, oh, she goes again, probably scroll past me, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But at some point, somebody will read that message and go, do you know what?
Yeah, it lands at the right time. Timing's good.
And that might be the person that 6 months ago was going, oh, here she goes again, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it might be 6 months later that fed up at work, or the hours are just not suiting, or the money's not suiting anymore, and they then get in touch, which has happened, you know, and then that person then realises what they missed out on 6 months ago. They should have done it then.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you mustn't talk about money. You don't talk about religion or politics. But let's just say it's got good potential for earning. Is that right?
Incredible potential for earning.
Yeah.
It's uncapped as well. There's nobody capping your earnings. There's nobody telling you, you know, you're on £30,000 a year.
Yeah.
You could be on £80,000. You could be on £100,000 a year by the end of the year.
Sign me up.
Forget this. She's coming with me. But no, it's true. It's a very, very, you know, rewarding job in all senses, monetary and what we do. More importantly.
Well, I've seen there's been lots of very happy customers with testimonials, and of course it's great for you to be able to share those. But it sounds like that. You know, it gives you a fantastic feeling that you have been able to help somebody.
Oh, hugely.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what we're doing. It's not a case of like, you know, for us at Bespoke as well, it's not just we've done the sale, off you go, and we'll never speak to you again.
Yeah.
Generally, these people they'll be on my Facebook. We become friends, you know, and I love seeing what they do, because obviously I have a conversation with somebody and they're telling me about the children and what they've been up to when they're going on holiday.
It's really personal, isn't it? What you're doing
massively.
is really personal, and I think you've probably got to be very comfortable with the person that you are giving all the information about your finances, your family, everything about yourself. You're very organised, Karen. I've always seen you as very organised. For those that don't know, Karen is my go-to person for anything that's happening locally in terms of where to eat out, where the best place to stay in a hotel is, anything like that. But you're really, really organised. How do you manage that? Because obviously it seems that work, you've got lots to juggle as well with people, clients, accounts. So how do you do that?
Google Calendar. Hands down, Google Calendar. If it's not in there, it's not happening, and I won't be doing it, so I will forget. Don't forget, like, hashtag Google, hashtag menopausal 50-year-old woman. Can't remember anything if it's not in my diary. So,
but it always is.
It's got to be in there, and I just think for me, it's, you know, it's even that ability to go, if we were planning something, I can put it in the calendar and I ping it to you. We've all got it. We all know where we're at. Even, you know, down to what the boys are doing, I've got to put it in my calendar because I would not remember what's going on.
You do very well.
But yeah, I think it's just easy to keep it. There's no point having a paper diary, is there, nowadays?
No, I think
definitely not.
I mean, I do like to make little paper lists, but as time goes on, things have been superseded, and there's so much easy to use tech. Where everything gets saved and, you know, nothing gets lost anymore, which is great.
Even my shopping list is on the phone now.
Oh my god!
I don't, you know, you used to write the shopping list, didn't you? But now you've got your phone in your hands. I literally put it in my notes now. I
speak into my notes because I just find it like texting these days. Oh, texting's such hard work. So I speak it all now.
Well, to be honest, I quite like a voice note as well. Because I think
that's personal.
Exactly. And you know, one of my friends is not very well at the moment, and most mornings she sends me this like most gorgeous like message, and she's the one suffering, and yet she's the one that's ringing me, or you know, just this lovely.
That's nice.
And it's nice, isn't it, that we have that ability now and that sort of technology to be able to do that now, isn't it?
That's great.
Yeah.
So I'm just going back to your career.
Mm.
Like you said, you've done nails, you did photography, that was working with people all the way through, and this is working with people. Your network must be massive. Your network of friends and colleagues must be massive, and I see that Bespoke do a lot of awards, accolades, like just absolutely looking out for their staff members, and have lots of social events where sometimes black tie, sometimes not, but it's like there's something going on.
Can I just say, while I'm here right now, we have had an ongoing competition for the last month.
What, at work?
At work.
Yeah, about
and
what?
It was Teesside versus Newcastle versus rest of the country. And can I just say, doing it for the Teessiders, we won. Yay! So yeah, Team Teesside won this morning, so we're going to win a prize.
Morning.
Yeah, the team leaders of our Teesside team are talking about axe throwing. And brunch.
Goodness me.
Not sure how well I'll do with the axe throwing.
Well, let's hope you haven't got anybody upset at work.
No, yes. So things like that, we've constantly got something going on.
Yeah.
They launched a new competition and things this morning, so it's literally
a friendly competition.
It's banter. Yeah, it really is, and it's good fun. But yeah, the Christmas do's are amazing. Like they're the overall sort of yearly awards ceremony
I'm jealous
as well.
of those sorts of things.
It's
I've seen you up on the stage getting your Bespoker of the Year award, Karen.
I did. Totally unexpected. Didn't have a clue. And I'd said to my husband, "Did you know about that?" And he said, "Not till about 3 minutes ago when Lee came over and said, get your video on."
Oh, that's
so good. Yeah. It's not my comfortable moment. I'm not one for getting up and getting on stage and things like that.
You're not a show off. You're not saying everybody look at me.
You're not, definitely not.
No.
But it was really nice to be recognised.
That's good.
Really nice. Yeah.
And so you mentioned Lee, who I think has been paramount in bringing you in and into Bespoke. I mean, it wasn't him that brought you in originally. And Helen, she was doing your
so Helen,
so
she did our appointment.
Yeah.
And we just got chatting and chatting about work and things like that. And I must have mentioned, I was looking for something different. And she literally just said, "Why don't you come with us?" And that's when I'd said, "Oh, no, I've never sold before. I wouldn't have a clue." And obviously when she explained it, I was, okay. And obviously that's when I had a chat.
Yeah, that is good, isn't it? Because it's like word of mouth. You've seen the person that's been doing the job, and then you think, well, maybe.
And it was how natural she was doing it, very professional in what she was doing.
Yeah.
But just being herself.
Yeah.
Which I think is what won me over a little bit. And then I think it was even the next day I went to meet Lee and Michelle.
Yeah.
And I'll be forever grateful to them too, because they took me on that day. They'd never met me before. Helen had never met me before, but they just took me on face value, explained what the role was, explained what happens, and then that was it. The rest is history, as they say.
That's good, and you'd like to do that for somebody else?
Absolutely.
Well, not just somebody.
Yeah.
As many people as would like the opportunity.
Yeah.
And is it an ongoing opportunity, or is there a deadline for this?
No deadline. No deadline, which is amazing, because it means that we can give lots of people that opportunity.
Yeah.
So no deadline.
Okay,
Just
cool.
whenever.
Right, well, you heard it here. If you want to be in Karen's team, then you can get hold of her. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the podcast and the YouTube version of this, as I'll put all the links and on Instagram as well. So put all the ways that people can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a preference for which way you like someone to get in touch with you? Facebook or
however they want.
Okay.
However they're comfortable.
Yeah. We'll put all the links in there.
Absolutely.
Okay. And anything else that you want to tell me about what's going on with you at the moment at work?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered everything, haven't we?
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, you've said that there's some really great stories about some of the clients who are happy for you to share their stories, and we can come back to that at a later date.
Absolutely, I'd love to do that. Yeah, because it just shows the importance of the job that we do while we're protecting families.
Yeah,
because this is the massive thing for me. It's you can go online and do your insurance online, but this is what happened with me. I went online and didn't have a clue and just closed it all down because I didn't know what I needed. And that very same day was when somebody else put a post on for Helen saying, If anybody
Oh,
needs some
right.
insurance doing,
Yeah.
get in touch with this lady, she'll look after you. And I thought, right, that'll do.
Well, that is the thing.
You know,
it is all about
and
timing.
it's personal,
right,
isn't
yeah,
it?
Right
And
place, right
you know,
time.
and I think that's the ultimate thing with it. And it's not, you're not just a number to us as a client.
Yeah.
You're not, and if anything happens, you know, if the proverbial hits the fan, then we are there to hold your hand through it.
Yeah.
We're there to do anything that you need to help you do.
Because you
whatever
know,
it
yeah,
is.
you know all the background to it.
Yeah, and let's face it, if something's horrible is happening or, you know, going on, the last thing you want to be doing is sorting out insurance claims. So that's why we're there.
Yeah, you
We
can
don't just walk away.
help them through it all.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, Karen?
Oh, 5 years' time. What was that, 55 nearly?
Oh, God.
Ah!
No, don't talk about the age. Just...
All right, then 5 years' time, I think I would love to basically be running an amazing team.
Yeah.
That's my dream, that's my goal. Putting a number on that, I won't put a number on it because if I've got 5, if I've got 10, if I've got 50, then that's absolutely fine.
And then you just be comfortable with whatever is there. But
whoever I can help.
But it sounds like you'll definitely still be at Bespoke.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's good. So all of your goals for that next 5 years, they're all within Bespoke and just making sure that you're growing a successful team.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
And building myself. You know, it's
self-development.
Self-development for me, because let's face it, like I wasn't really. I mean, for me to be sat here today doing this is a massive thing because probably even 6 months ago
you wouldn't have the confidence to do it.
No.
And where's that confidence come from then, do you think?
I just think I don't know, maybe it's just the want of me wanting to help other people and, you know, bring people into the team, and I think
there's got to be a reason, hasn't there? There's got to be a reason that,
There's no point me sitting, you know, like even doing things like, you know, like recording on like Snapchat or, you know, TikTok and things like that. I'm very uncomfortable doing that, but I've started to do it. I've trying to push those boundaries, and
I think sometimes familiarity of doing something sort of does make you build the confidence, and then there's just a cycle, isn't it?
It's much like the job, isn't it? Yeah, it's much like the job that we do. It's, you know, once you've done those first few appointments, yes, it's daunting when you first do it, but once you've done the first 2, 3, 4, you're absolutely fine.
There's a period of time where, do you know, I think it's quite exciting being the new person in a role, but then you don't have immediate confidence because you need to know it. It needs to be ingrained in you, and that only comes with time and experience. And I think, you know, it's just interesting, isn't it? It's interesting that you so far into it now that, like you said, with the social media side, it's outside of your comfort zone, but now you're getting into your flow. Oh,
yeah, definitely.
Right, well, today was the first interview with Karen, and like I said, hopefully we will come back and circle back, as they say, and see how things are going with some client stories in the future. That'd be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe I'll catch up with you in 5 years' time on Teas Talks and say, how's your
team? More than 5 years' time. in 1 year's time, that's my first goal. Short-term goals first.
Okay.
And then long-term,
Good idea.
But yeah, I'd love to chat to you about some of the stories that, you know, things that have happened, and the whys and wherefores of why we do our job. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, and if anybody does have any questions that have come from this, then they can leave some comments in the post, and we'll see whether we can answer them afterwards. I'll send them on to Karen.
Anytime, yeah.
Okay. Lovely to see you, Karen.
And thank you so much. I really appreciate this. It's been
No
brilliant.
worries.
Thank you.